Big news. This latest new action film has been released. Finally, I saw Tifa in Trouble, and I finally saw the trailer of Hazard. And from comparing the two of these films, I feel like Tifa in Trouble has more of an edge. My reason is, let's see, it had car chase scenes, it had some interesting martial art fight scenes. Let's see, a couple of few shootout scenes. An interesting hero. Let's see, yes, slick, bit of a rock and roll there. A rock and roll vigilante badass cop, wherever he is. It is gonna be old Bollywood style and all that. And also, yeah, a lot of Indian fans are really interested in Tifa in Trouble. And I love you, Indian people, for that. For loving Pakistan. And I love you for it. And I will say this. I will be against anti-Indians in Pakistan. But I also will be against anti-Pakistans in India. Now, this movie, Azad, the Indian media has accused this for propaganda. I'll say, yes, this does look like a propaganda, but then India has made propaganda themselves in media over exaggerating with Pakistan's problems. Saying everything that's been happening in India or everything that Pakistan's been up to is all planning all against on India. I say most of their facts are not true in the Indian media. And confession, I do watch some Pakistani news, yes, and there's been stories as well. Yes, Indian spies, Pakistani spies. I don't know. Yes, Pakistan has a captured guy, Indian guy. India's demanding him to be released and all that. I don't know what's going on. I really don't want to get into this dispute, but there's been a lot of my experience, a lot of Indian propaganda media over exaggerating with Pakistan stuff and said about lies, and they also said something interesting. What was it? Yeah, about this Indian. I don't know if they're saying he's an Indian spy. I'm not gonna jump in like that. All I just know is war sucks, spy sucks, Game of Thrones sucks. Well, I'm not saying the series sucks. The series is awesome, but if you think about it, it's all a game. Move your chest around different pieces, manipulate a couple of few things, manipulate the people in any area. India has demanded Balochistan to be independent, but I also heard Pakistan demanded other stuff. Certain other parts in India that wanted independence due to the different multicultural, different language barrier, or if they're Oriental. Look, I don't want to get into this deep dispute of all this, but this deep dispute. I'm really sorry for mentioning this kind of stuff, but what I'm saying is, if this is true or not, then yeah, then I'm incorrect. But then what they said about Pakistan and over-exaggerate stuff is not true. Look, this movie so far is showing Pakistani. Well, let's see. No, just so far is showing one of them as a Pakistani to be a guerrilla fighter for the Kashmir cause in India. It shows this, I don't know, British Desi journalist. But it turns out, it looks a bit more of a connection between this rebel leader and this journalist. Turns out they were maybe planning to get married in Pakistan. So I'm like, okay, she's a British Pakistani, and he's a Pakistani. Or I just got one thing to say about this Kashmir. I just don't know. It's such a sad thing has happened. Kashmir has left undecided if they wanted their independence to be on any side. It's being told they wanted their own independence or if they want to be part of India. I heard that since most of the majority was Muslim, they want to be part of Pakistan. Always known as Pakistan did send their military over to reclaim it. Look, I don't really want to blame neither sides, but the only person I think is one of their faults, I'm not going to mention it. I just find it wrong if you just... I just don't really like them talking about this. There's so much dispute and deep politics conversation. I'm supporting this film just for it to be an action film. And I'm actually looking forward to this. So far, the scenes in it, so far looks quite Rambo in the forest. Lots of heavy machine gun, a few explosions, a few, I don't know, Rana, this actor guy, who, I don't know, Salman Khan version of Pakistan, or whatever you call him, or he looks a bit like Gaston. Yeah, I know, there's a, scene where he did a gorilla hammer fist at one of the, I don't know, Indian soldiers and all that. Yeah, so this guy is big, he's muscly and all that. Yeah, let him start developing more of his action career, because so far he only made a notice in mostly Pakistan Punjabi films. Now he really needs to kick ass more in Pakistan's film industry and the South Asian film industry of action. But I just hope it's well choreographed, the action scenes, because so far it's all blah, 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 bang, 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 explosions and shoot 'em ups. And it's just like one-man army, guerrilla militants versus I don't know, this dictatorship of unfair right to, I don't know, Muslims or something, because that's what it looks like. And I don't like the idea of, I don't know, a guy who has a red doll in his head and he's a Hindu, or he's being portrayed as a villain. That I don't like. If you're wearing a sea cat or something, my fact is, let's see, we got, I don't know, there's 3 million Hindus living in Pakistan, Pakistani born. There's 2 million Christians in Pakistan, Pakistani born. My point is, I just don't like that stuff. Oh, he's got a red dot on his forehead. He's an Indian. Oh, Hindu. Yeah, blah. Look, there's been a lot of problems on every side of problems. This here looks entertaining. This looks promising, but I can't say it's promising, because I remember that movie. This movie looked promising, but then it ripped my heart and torn it, because it was too disorganized action scenes. It was too rushed. There was not really that much of a climactic. I don't really want to criticize this movie or the director. This movie did make a lot of money still, but it was just too disorganized. There was too much going on. The best action films in Pakistan that's been made was Malik, Wah, and Sai Kada. Because they were solid, they were choreographed, and they were organized. I'm still waiting for Project Gaza, and now Tifa in trouble, and Azzadi is in the next step. And I heard there's a few more action films in development, connected to the history wars and just crime. So yeah, I'm looking forward. Those are the options in the Pakistani films, so history, military, and crime. This endless dispute of India and Pakistani Kashmir. That I do not accept. What's the word is? So for what I see within this man, he actually had a future. He was planning to get married, from this what story told. But then he decided to disappear, because she just heard he's in Kashmir fighting for a cause, what he believes in. He's thinking if this will stop the killing. So I'm like, okay, he decided to not get married. He decided not to really get involved with the woman he loves, because he's thinking there's more things important in life, which is his decision, what he thinks. But I'm like, my choice is, this is just my opinion, he'd rather kill and fight for freedom and kill instead of love. It's a very, very deep conversation, and this is just my facts and stuff. I cannot take a side. I've seen so many wars and hearing, who's right and who's in the right and who's in the wrong. I've been hearing stories about Indian Kashmir people getting killed and all that, but how do I know? I only heard it on the Pakistani media. It's the same as India talks a lot of stuff about, there's a lot of horrible stuff happening in Balochistan. But as I check some stuff, it's over-exaggerated. What they ever say about, anything being developed in Balochistan, they say negative about it. Anything if they see the Pakistani army or anything that the Pakistan's making in military, they're saying it's an act of terrorism. They say anything that looks suspicious, if anything. Like, that is also propaganda, as this movie is also propaganda. And there's been a couple of few movies that's maybe also been connected to propaganda, but not all of them. However, Border, I know that was propaganda, but that was a tribute to the Indian army. I guess what you're seeing me right now is a guy who's in the middle. I'm supporting this because it's a Pakistani action film. And I'm supporting this because in the end, it's a Pakistani-made film, and this time it's portraying Indian negative. And I'm not saying, haha, we're portraying Indian negative. Now who's the daddy? Now you see how it feels? I'm not. Okay, I just want to support it because it's an action film. And I know India has portrayed Pakistan in a negative light as well. So in the end, like I said, it's the end. Let's see. How's the dispute is? We fight each other over cricket. And I want some more MMA fights and more boxing fights between India and Pakistan. But right now, most of the fights are in MMA. And I mean, most of the fights between Pakistan are always on the border of a shootout, politics arguing, cricket, and hockey. And now, DVD blockbusters of, like, I'm gonna portray your country looking like this. No, I'm gonna portray your country looking like this. There is problems in many countries. Yes, there's problems in India. India has been accusing Pakistan and complaining about Pakistan's problems, but then they don't look at stuff that needs to also be sorted in India, and I don't feel like they talk enough about that. But then I'm possibly wrong what I'm saying. And there is hardworking people in India trying to deal with that problem, but there's the same as well in Pakistan, who are also trying to deal with that problem. This movie looks fun. It's a complete gun-pumping machine gun action, where it's going to be just skirmishing, guerrilla warfare, ambushing. It's just guerrilla fighters versus against military, and portraying the guerrilla fighters in this movie to be the good guys, because it's Pakistani characters fighting with their long-time enemy India. But I don't think they are all. I think they're, Kashmir Indian born, maybe these people, and they just maybe because since of their Islamic beliefs, they're fighting what's their cause, and maybe because they had a bad experience and there's been mistreatment or misjudgments of who's I don't know, bad or something. So probably they had what they experienced, they had a bad experience. Now they want justice for it. Maybe they don't want to trust the Indian government. All I just know is these guerrilla fighters are anti-Indian government. And I just want to make sure it's going to be a fun action film. I don't know what else to say. That's all I got to say for now. But possibly this is maybe a goodbye because there's nothing else that much to talk about. It's a romance action, and well, I would say war, but then the war is usually a much larger casualty. So overall, this is mostly a big skirmish war fight. This man is just a story about a man who decided to do a bigger cause in his life. He's thinking he must do it. But what is his story? Why is he fighting against Indian military? Why is he wants to challenge the Indian government in the Indian region of Kashmir? Let's see. The belief of this freedom fight and the belief. India has portrayed this to be a propaganda movie. Maybe it is. It possibly is. But then India has done the same. So it's an endless cycle of pointing fingers, pointing guns, and mouth to mouth of accusing and arguing. Endless. Typical Desi society. Let's torch some flames and start purging each other. Endless, 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 endless hate. And I'm gonna watch this movie because it's a die-hard Rambo Desi style action film. And there's one thing that is facts. It's politics suck. And action movies are awesome.